Page 354, Sonatina in C major, the first movement. Very famous Sonatina by Clementi. When I was in high school, junior high and high school, learning to play the piano, messing around with it, my grandmother played piano, and she had an old Schirmer book just filled with Clementi sonatinas, And I used to have a lot of fun just playing through the book. Just playing this. There's a lot of neat stuff. This is one of the pieces, and in fact, I think it's the first one in the book. So let's talk about it. It's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of broken chords and runs in it. So if you're doing the scales, it should be okay on that, I hope. Look it over. I see it's 2 pages long. Treble bass clef at least to start. No sharps or flats in the key signature. Well, it's in the title, C major. The title of the Sonatina isn't really Sonatina in C major, it's just Sonatina or something like this. So you figure out it's in C major. But do the scales and arpeggios for C major and A minor, because that has no sharps or flats also. And then cut time, which remember when I start to learn a piece that's in cut time, first I put it in 4/4 time to learn it. And then when I have to put it up to speed and the natural accents and interpretation, then I'll put it in cut time. So I'm going to talk about this as though it's in 4/4 time because it's easier to figure out what the rhythm is doing. And again, I want a fingering that lets me connect the notes if possible. And I'm accustomed to a slightly different fingering than this book covers, so I'm going to cover that too. You have choices. At the beginning, they want you in this position, basically, the right hand, for the first 2 measures, because you're just a C chord in second inversion, and that's what we're doing here. And then claps, and then over. We just basically did a G scale with an F natural. It's a C major scale. We just didn't start on C, we started on G. That's okay. Now, when we get over to measure 6 here, we have these broken thirds going down. We have these broken. This is a very common fingering for broken thirds. Just sometimes the black key gets in the way, but in this case it worked out okay. Because you go up to, you can go up to, but it's very common fingering. Don't try and use the same 2 fingers all the way. Please don't. Use the fingering in the book. This is good. Here and then here. And then here. It's as if you're going to go on down, except now we're going to play G major scale. And the measure 9. And this is one of the things where I'm used to a different fingering. You can use the fingering in the book, it's fine. 5 on all of these. But what I was doing or taught to do is I would do 5, 4, 5. Use a different finger on the repeated notes. Throughout, anywhere I get this kind of a passage, 5, 4, 5. But as I said, you can use 5, 5, 5, or whatever your teacher tells you to use. And then measure 10, another run. It's sort of like a scale again. So if you're practicing the scales, you can do this. You'll adjust for the white and black notes as you need to. Here, and then measure 12. You can do a 3 here because you need 4 here. So here, but I'd still do 4. I have a habit of doing 4, and I do 4 twice. And the fingering in the book is good there. I like that. Measure 16. You're going. We went into C minor. Yeah, went from C major to C minor, so we can do that. You can go from major to minor, the parallel minor. Yeah, it's okay. I can also go into the relative. I might go into A minor here someday. I don't know. Measure 20, we're just rotating here. Just bump, 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 bump. Don't hold the hand still and try and use the fingers. Just rotate. And then, now, measure 22. Stays here. 5 here. It's okay, but I would prefer not to. This is a fast piece. So I'm just going to stay here. And then cross over. This is one of the times where I will cross over the thumb, even though another fingering tells me I don't have to, but I don't want to do that. I'll do that. And then you come down here. It's like it is at the beginning, except we're an octave lower. Left hand doesn't have a lot going on. Just trying to connect these. Alfred bass, measure 9. Yeah. You're fine. Measure 16, it's an F. You should know that. Connect these. Measure 20, it's okay. Measure 21, you can use second finger on the E flat if you want to. If you don't want to be up here, you can. Okay. Then I put the hands together slowly, and I'll hesitate. That's okay. We're here. It's not too hard. Let's go to measure 10. We're up here. Measure 8, remember that comes up on here when I play the B. And then we're here. That's fine. So I go through and I put the hands together. And then I go back over it, maybe just a phrase or a line or a section at a time, and get rid of the hesitations. And I say sections. You can see, well, there's a repeat sign there at measure 15. You have a sonata form. We have different forms. Rondo form, sonata, whatever. And in a sonata form, you have an exposition, development, and recap. Sometimes you can have a coda. You can even have an introduction, too. But the exposition is when you're first presenting the material. That's at the beginning. And that goes all the way down to measure 15. Now we presented the material. And we have two themes. Because here, measure 9, it's another theme. We have different themes on it. That's normal. But it's all exposition. We're exposing or presenting the themes. And then the development starts at measure 16 here, and that's where you develop the themes. You just play around with it. Normally the development can be quite long. You know, a good portion of the sonata, the movement, would be development. That's where the composer is playing around with the themes. Here they don't do a lot of that. When in C minor, otherwise they're not really doing a lot. And then in measure 24 you get the recap or the recapitulate. That's the you're kind of tying everything up. You go back to the original theme, but it's usually changed in some way. Doesn't have to be. And they could have gone back and done that exactly like they did at the beginning. But here they did it down an octave lower. It's the recap or recapitulation. And that takes you to the end. So we actually have 3 sections. The exposition, development, and recapitulation. And so you can take this and learn it one section at a time. But whatever you do, please don't keep playing what you learned until you can play it all. So once you have this exposition down and you can play it with no hesitations, slowly, no hesitations, set it aside. Don't keep playing it. Then focus on the development. And once you have that, set it aside and then do the recap. And once you have them all, then you go back and put it all together. You'll still be able to play those other things. It's just when you're trying to learn a piece and you spend a lot of your time playing what you know, you're kind of wasting time because you need to be working on what you don't know. You'll learn it more quickly. Now, once I have the hesitations out of the way, then I add the articulation. And that's the slurs and staccatos, and they're short staccatos of flexing at the wrist. Through. I'll put in the staccatos and the accents. I don't know that there are any accents, but there's slurs and staccatos. And then we add the dynamics, and that applies to the melody. Most of the time it's going to be the right hand, loud, at whatever you think loud is, but then in measure 5 you're echoing that. And you're crescendoing down in measure 7. And you're loud here. Just a lot of weight. Let the wrist collapse a little bit. Don't stiffen up. Measure 16, you're soft. Measure 20, you're loud. And this is more the left hand here. Here. That, it's interpretation. And measure 20 and 21, I'll let the left hand have the melody, but then measure 22, I give it back to the right hand. And then measure 24, you're soft. And in my mind, as part of interpreting it, in measure 23, you can put a little diminuendo there. Just slow down, or not slow down, but get softer. So. And then you get crescendos back up to loud and all kinds of things. Then the speed, and this is where we put it back in the cut time. The natural accents in 4/4 time are 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. In cut time, that's it. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. And they say allegretto on top of that. Well, I don't know if I'm going to do that, because that would be a 1, 2, 1, 2. No, that's way too fast. This doesn't go that fast. I question the cut time. I don't remember this being a cut time. Maybe it was. I've always taken it in 4/4 time myself. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4. Have fun with it. It's just. How fast can you play the 8th note runs? Here, 3rd measure. Or 8th measure. How fast can you play those evenly? Find the hardest part. Maybe it's the last line there. Measure 35 here. Whatever you can play that evenly and smoothly, that's your allegro for now. You come back to and play for fun, and I would encourage you to go get a book on Clementi Sonatinas, because it's really fun. There's some wonderful melodies in there, and you just play through it. So speed-wise, everybody be a little different. I think I would take this in 4/4 time, though. Yeah, just put in the natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It helps to keep the runs even. Measure 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. That gets back to the scales. When we accent and you drop the wrist on the scales going super slow, you get an idea of what it feels like to accent any note on any finger at any time. It helps keep these runs smooth. Measure 35, go. So I'm accenting every beat here. Just letting it go real slow all the way. Try accenting every 3rd note just to practice here. This is measure 35 here. It takes 3 measures to come out even when it's all 8th notes. The point is you can accent any note on any finger at any time, and it helps to keep these runs smooth and controlled. Don't go faster than what you can control, is what I'm saying. If anybody's listening, if you're by yourself and you're just horsing around, have fun, just whatever. Just don't do a lot of that, because you can actually introduce some bad habits. Technique, you'll get some bad technique doing that. But once in a while, yeah, let loose and just whatever. Assuming nobody can hear you, because it will sound pretty bad to somebody else. Been there, done that. Now there is a repeat sign. So you're going to play the first 15 measures twice. Whatever. That makes the exposition longer. Yeah, and it's quite normal in a sonata or sonatina. The exposition would be repeated. It would be nice to change something when you repeat it. It's maybe dynamics or something. You can't change the notes or the rhythms, so dynamics or articulation or something the second time around, and see what else you can do. Because I can put swells in this and come out and come back out as measure 9. I can put a little come down, put a crescendo on measure 10. And then the ba-da-da, and then come down, ba-da-da. Put in some other dynamics rather than just what they have. You don't have to play the whole first line loud and then soft and allow it. You can get louder and softer. The idea is to get past the mechanics, So you're done. You're not thinking about fingering and all that junk. And you're getting into the music and feeling it. And you experiment with these swells and things going on, speed and whatnot. Now to play it, there's lots of recordings, I think, but I'll play it a little slower. You have to play it as fast as the pros take it. Just hear it. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. At this level, probably I don't need to do this, but I've been doing it through the whole book, so I'm just going to continue. I'm going to take this in 4/4 time, where a quarter note gets a count. We will do the repeat, but I won't do the dynamics. We're not performing it. We're just checking notes and rhythms. So I'll give us 4 quarter note counts. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. Repeat. Rest. dismissed.